Chris Nolan returns.
Those were up, and they did.
We're smarts, and my...
He told me enough.
No, I.
Here's Chuck.
Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review. And this movie review is going to be for Christopher Nolan's newest film that just came out this weekend. One that was teased all through last year to this year. And it's one about the atomic bomb, and it's his first R-rated movie since Memento. And it's also come out in yet another hyped new release this weekend, leading to this hyped double feature for releases. And that film is going to be for none other than this weekend's Oppenheimer. So what's the plot? So yeah, we all know what this movie's about. It's about Oppenheimer and how he created what was the atomic bomb. Pretty much the plot of the film. It's a biography about Oppenheimer himself, his creation of the atomic bomb. You get the story. You get the point. So how was this film made? Well, in December 2020, Warner Bros. Pictures announced plans to give its 2021 film stimulus releases in theaters and on HBO Max during the COVID-19 pandemic and during the time when Christopher Nolan was filming TENET. And Chris Nolan, who had partnered with the studio on each of his films that started with Insomnia, he expressed his disbelief with the decision. In January 2021, the media reports mentioned the possibility that Nolan's next film could be the first to not be financed or distributed by Warner Bros. Nolan had even previously supported the studio's decision to give Wonder Woman 1984 stimulus release because he perceived this situation to have been handled properly, but said he had been pretty much excluded from any discussions regarding the postponed releases of his film Tenet. Yep, and so he pretty much left Warner Brothers for good reason. And in September 2021, Deadline Hollywood reported that Christopher Nolan would write and direct a biographical film set during World War II about J. Robert Oppenheimer, how he created the atomic bomb, with Cillian Murphy in negotiations to star. Towards the conclusions of Tenet's production, actor Robert Pattinson had given Nolan a book containing Oppenheimer's speeches. He had felt that as Tenet's main idea was to pretty much uninvent an awful technology, where the toothpaste could be put back in the tube, and making the film would have been a logical extension. Nolan approached multiple studios for the project, including Sony, Universal, Paramount, and Apple, due to his strained relationship with Warner Brothers. According to insiders, Paramount was out of the selection early out in the wake of the replacement of CEO and chairman Jim Giannopoulos with Brian Robbins, the advocate for the increased streaming service releases. Then on September 14th, it was confirmed Universal would finance and distribute the film, and production would begin in the first quarter of 2022. And some of Nolan's demands included this production budget of $1 million and an equal marketing budget, a theatrical window of at least 100 days, 20% of the film's first dollar gross, and a 3-week period before and after the film's release in which Universal could not release another new film. And Oppenheimer was the first script written by Christopher Nolan in the first person himself, because he wanted the narrative to be conveyed from Oppenheimer's perspective. And he even deliberately had chosen to alternate between scenes in color and black and white, explaining that he wanted the film to be conveyed from both an objective and subjective perspective. And starting to make the film as subjective as possible, the production team decided to visualize Oppenheimer's conceptions of the quantum world and waves of energy. He had begun by trying to find threads that connected the quantum realm, the vibration of energy, and Oppenheimer's own personal journey, and sought to portray the difficulties in his life, particularly in regards to his sexual life. And Nolan wanted to candidly portray his affair with Jean Tatlock. He was inspired by his fears of nuclear holocaust, as he had lived during the campaign for nuclear disarmament and the anti-nuclear protests in Green Uncommon. And he even felt the 2022 invasion caused a resurgence of nuclear anxiety. Another star of the film, Emily Blunt, had described the script as being emotional, resembling that of a thriller film. and even commented that she felt Nolan had Trojan horse to biopic into a thriller. So, we all saw the teaser last year. Then, after that teaser, we saw all the advertising. And the film was pretty much completed and marketed for an entire year. So after the film was shot and marketed, Nolan was able to have its premiere at Le Grand Rex in Paris on July 11, 2023, but unfortunately could not get its London premiere due to the strike that happened. But it's still been theatrically released in the United States yesterday, on July 21st, 2023, by Universal Pictures. Becoming, of course, we all know it's Nolan's first film to not be distributed by Warner Brothers, since the first one to be so since Memento, and his first to receive an R rating since Insomnia. And how was this received by people? Well, like what is typical for every Christopher Nolan film, it's received critical acclaim from audiences and critics alike. Now, as for my reaction, well, y'all guys should probably know Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors of all time. He's never let me down or ever disappointed me. So when I saw this teaser, of course I was hyped, but then when I heard the figure on runtime, I was skeptical. But the movie was released last night, went to see it last night, and I have to say, I think this is easily Christopher Nolan's best movie since Inception. Nolan here has presented exceptional cinematic works that skillfully blend breathtaking narratives with innovative techniques. He doesn't settle for merely producing films. Instead, he creates artistic creations that touch the hearts and dazzle the minds, immersing us in reality and opening new gateways to our imagination. And through his magnificent works, he sends a message to the world that cinema is not just about entertainment, it's a form of artistic expression and a medium to convey ideas and emotions in a mesmerizing and innovative manner. And with his masterful direction and inspiring screenplays, he inspired millions and deeply impacted them. And I think the visual portrayal of the atomic bomb in this movie was actually done magnificently well. The build to this moment is very nerve-wracking, and it really does a great job putting the viewers on the edge of their seats. And when it finally happens, it's just quietness. The whole scene, it was silence before the storm. When I saw the scene in the theater, at first I plugged my ears because I thought since it was a bomb, it was going to be loud. But once the bomb goes off, it's pure silence for a few minutes or a few seconds. And for a moment, we get to see the beauty of it. And then we're hit with all the destruction and pain that also comes with it, the shockwave. And in the theater, I actually felt it coming. The whole theater just felt it. And without a doubt, Nolan's creations here will definitely always remain timeless. His magnificent work continues to influence future generations for thousands of years. He never just made films, he built this artistic legacy that will never be forgotten at all, regardless, because he achieves this perfect balance between entertainment and artistic excellence. And the science here is obviously clearly dumbed down enough so the general population could follow, which I think they did pretty well. And a wonderful performance from Cillian Murphy, and of course the genius that is Chris Nolan, and you get a very entertaining film. And ironically, Cillian Murphy actually worked with Chris Nolan on Batman Begins, where he played Scarecrow. Right here, and it's great to see them reunites for this movie. The soundtrack is magnificent as ever with Nolan, and the film is beautifully shot. And some of the dialogue between Murphy and Damon is superb, even if Damon's portrayal of the brash army man was at times a little cliched. And Oppenheimer is not just a cinematic great movie, it's a cinematic masterpiece that delves deep into one of the most crucial periods in history, which was the creation of the atomic bomb during World War II. An unparalleled vision and storytelling prowess, Nolan takes the audience to an immersive journey, bringing to life the complexities and moral dilemmas faced by J. Robert Oppenheimer as well. The film's attention to historical accuracy and its meticulous creation of the era is awe-inspiring. And Nolan's direction is as gripping as ever, creating a sense of tension and urgency that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats throughout the movie. The use of practical effects and stunning visuals adds this unparalleled level of realism that transports the audience back in time to the whole event of this whole era, of this whole incident. And Cillian Murphy's performance as Oppenheimer is just nothing short of remarkable. He captures the inner turmoil of the scientist, torn between the loyalty to his country and ethical implications of developing such a devastating weapon, and Murphy's ability to convey complex emotions through nuanced expression in the dialogue makes him the perfect choice for the role. And it's not just Cillian Murphy that gives a great performance, it's nearly the whole entire cast. Yeah, like Robert Downey Jr. plays Louis Strauss, and he also gives a great performance here. And this was definitely the movie he needed after being in that shitty Doolittle film from 2020. This is definitely the right movie he needed, and even he knew this was the exact movie he needed after retiring from Iron Man. Right here, and it really shows. In his performance, the makeup on Downey looks perfect. Right there, even. Just the makeup on all the characters looks great. Emily Blunt also gives a pretty decent performance as well, and most of the actors do give other great performances here, but some of them do feel a little wasted, but regardless, wasted or not wasted, they give great performances in this film during their scenes. And Nolan's signature non-linear storytelling adds another layer of intrigue by the narrative, unfolding Oppenheimer's life in a non-chronological manner, revealing key events that shaped his character, and the film's score, composed by legendary Hans Zimmer, complements the storytelling beautifully and enhances the emotional impact of every scene. The imagery of the various explosions, accompanied by carefully orchestrated music and sound effects, create an intense visual and auditory experience, and at times they even evoke the feelings of tension and stress, enhancing the viewer's immersion in the story. Yeah, like during the times, like, you have this, like, during their certain scenes, we have this really loud effect that actually does well in bringing the viewer anxiety, making them stressed out, actually feel like something terrifying is going to happen. Right here, it works perfectly well here. No, it's not like that A24 crap Bo is afraid, or System Guy being a chicken shit for 4 hours, to the point where where his boat gets clogged on water and then he dies in a trial because he's too much of a chicken shit. Not this, though. Not with this scenario. It's like, I swear, it's like Ari Aster clearly wishes he was Christopher Nolan. Yeah. Another great actors too, like, are also Matt Damon in the role of General Groves, who had previously worked with Chris Nolan on Interstellar, and he delivers a solid, convincing presence as well. And the film skillfully explores different temporal tones, offering a non-linear narrative that adds additional depth to the story, and smooth transitions between color and black and white sequence adds an artistic and symbolic dimension to the overall experience. These aesthetic choices enhance the emotional impact of the narrative, including distinguishing different eras and events. Yeah, there's certain flashback scenes that are all shot in black and white, and I really like that we had some black and white moments here. And it's worth noting that to fully appreciate this film, prior interest in the history of the atomic bomb and Oppenheimer's life and work is pretty necessary for most viewers, or those who have an appreciation of Chris Nolan in general. With a duration of 3 hours, it can seem lengthy to those who are not invested in these specific subjects. This story of the film is divided into 3 distinct parts, with the first 2 closely interconnected. The first part focuses on Oppenheimer's training as a physicist, highlighting his interactions with Heisenberg and other eminent scientists at the time, and the second part centers around the creation of the atomic bomb, the test conducted at Los Alamos, the scientific challenges faced by the team, and then the final part of the movie focuses on Oppenheimer's hearing, where certain high-ranking officials, envious of his accomplishments, attempt to discredit him by presenting him as a spy working for the Soviets. And the film was 3 hours long, but honestly, I felt it went by pretty quickly and enjoyably. Here, it didn't really feel that long to me. Maybe I'm just used to 3-hour movies at this point, but a little more used to 3-hour movies. That's more than anything, the film presents important and very relevant subjects, and doing so while being non-stop entertainment and a comprehensive character study and a study of our society on a very high pace. Without mentioning anything specific, there's even one scene that just about really caused me in the cinema to literally move nervously in my seat, and non-stop for a long period of time. And honestly, I think it was during when Oppenheimer's making his speech. and the crowd's cheering, but what he's seeing is one of the crowd's faces is peeling off from the atomic bomb. One of them's crying over their dead relative, or one even like throws up outside. And then the whole audience is gone. Like, that's probably one of the most intense scenes I've watched in a movie in a long time. And it definitely shows the true meaning of cinematic experience. Like, a lot of modern movies can't really get right today. The cast, yeah, like I've already said, the cast is just incredible as you would expect them to be, and the screenplay flows naturally with a breathtaking score that justifiably draws parallels from Hans Zimmer's profound work in Interstellar. Nolan balances the intimacy between the characters while seamlessly just stopping it with some of the most impactful scenes ever shown on a big screen. The movie's runtime takes its time to setting up its pieces. The finale leaves you utterly spellbound. The sheer magnitude and scale of the events transporting right in front of your eyes. And the movie's horror undertones contribute to the overall atmospheric brilliance. Nolan expertly weaves in suspenseful elements, heightening the tension as we witness the moral dilemmas faced by Oppenheimer and his team. The fear of the unknown, the ethical ramification of their actions, and the destructive power they hold in their hands are palpable, making Oppenheimer this riveting viewing experience that leaves a lasting impact. And another one of the film's standout aspects is the outstanding dialogue. It's penned with eloquence and depth. The conversation among the characters not only reveal their intellect, but also their emotions, their vulnerabilities, and their convictions. And the rich interplay of words added an intellectual layer to the movie. And it makes it this engaging experience for those seeking substance beyond the action and the thrills. And the cinematography in Oppenheimer is nothing short of breathtaking. Each frame is a work of art, immaculately composed to capture the essence of the era, enhancing the narrative's emotional impact. From the majestic landscapes to intimate character moments, every shot serves a purpose, draws us further into the story. And the exceptional sound design plays a crucial role in immersing the audience in the movie's world. A hauntingly beautiful musical score amplifies the tension and emotions, complementing the stunning visuals to create an unforgettable sensory experience. Every explosion, every whisper, every heartbeat are massively orchestrated to intensify the movie's impact. And the score, which is done by Hans Zimmer, rivets and heightens every scene, intensifying the drama and the suspense, the use of practical effects, because they actually do use practical effects in this movie, because Chris Nolan's not exactly too much of a CGI guy a lot of times, which I think is perfect. And the seamless CGI elevates the film. It leaves audiences on the edge of their seats during the heart-pounding action sequences. What also sets Oppenheimer apart is his philosophical exploration of the consequences of scientific progress and the moral implications of creating the atomic bomb. And the film strikes a perfect balance between historical accuracy and artistic interpretation, and prompting thought and reflection long after leaving the theater. With that being said, though, is Oppenheimer flawless? Not really. Because I will admit, I did have some nitpicks. For when it comes to movie-wise, I did actually kind of dislike the frequent and abrupt cutting between scenes and missed some kind of prolonged choir scenes. At least this absence is kind of felt throughout the film, and also misses this utter genius who has partnered with Nolan, which is sometimes Hans Zimmer. Though his soundtrack isn't on his level, Ludwig Göransson somewhat delivers a beautiful score full of emotion and suspense. Okay. Sorry guys, I just remembered that it's not done by Hans Zimmer. Forget that flaw. And also, one of the actors that was wasted, some of them are Gary Oldman, are just in cameos and they just don't appear again. And Florence Pugh's even in this movie, and she only has 3 scenes in the film. So if you're a fan of Florence, guys, you're gonna have to keep that in mind. She only has 3 or 2 scenes, or 2, 3, or 4 scenes, and then she never appears in the rest of the film. Then again, her character scenes are meant to portray how Oppenheimer is not always a great person. But still. And yeah, and also the movie is definitely 3 hours long. It's not going to sit well for some people. If in fact, it's going to cause some mixed reactions from people, mainly because of the 3 hour runtime. I guess that's understandable, but I don't think it's really that long, to be honest. And when you there is now this has nothing to do with the movie. This next one, but when you do go see this movie, guys, unfortunately, just bear in mind you're gonna have to sit for the trailer of an upcoming horror sequel that I was never excited for. The news reports have showed that the Exorcist Believer trailer has debuted, but the thing is, though, in order to watch the trailer, you have to go watch this movie. The only way you're going to see the trailer, for now, because somebody's going to likely film this trailer. They're going to put it up online, or the trailer's going to eventually debut online anyway. But this trailer, yeah, they play this trailer at my screening, guys, and dear God, this trailer was so headache-inducing. And too fucking loud with its jump scares. Like, holy crap. I get this. And it clearly seems, and it practically felt like a fan service trailer because it literally just feels like a throwback to the unreleased trailer for the first Exorcist movie. Yeah, it ends with a fan service moment. Because of nostalgia. But yeah. There's my thoughts, guys. I'm not excited for this movie, and I really thought David Gordon Green would have learned his lesson from reviving horror franchises after Halloween ends. But I blame Jason Blum for how the Halloween trilogy turned out, guys, because I think the Halloween trilogy was more Jason Blum's fault over David's. But because I could tell some of the ideas were clearly stupid Jason Blum's. But come on, dude. You really sure you want to go revive more horror franchises after how people reacted to the Halloween trilogy you made? Because they want to make this Exorcist thing a trilogy. And the test screens have even been poor so far. I can predict this movie's not even going to be good. So bear in mind, if you got like seizure problems or epilepsy, I would definitely sit outside in the lobby and wait when this trailer starts. If you see a Universal Blumhouse logo, that's the trailer. Alright? It starts with this dad character saying, I'll just describe how this trailer is. It starts with this dad dropping off these two girls at school, and he's saying, "Be sure you're back" or something. I remember that's how the trailer starts. But if when you're watching the trailers before this movie, and that's a part you see, and after your first trailer's over, that's the part you see. Just a warning, guys. That's the Exorcist Believer trailer, and that's your cue to sit outside and wait. Because this trailer is very seizure-inducing, headache-inducing. So, you're going to want to sit outside and wait in the lobby till the trailer's over. But, then again, guys, I'm going back to the review. The nitpicks don't ruin this movie for me, and I think it's Nolan's best movie since Inception and The Dark Knight. In the end, Oppenheimer is a movie I recommend for Christopher Nolan fans and those who want to see one last film from him for a while because he doesn't want to make a film till after the strike is over. And yeah. And if you're wondering how I'm going to... Anyway, guys, that's it for my review of Oppenheimer. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Oppenheimer, here's how I'm going to rank this movie.
So overall, if you love Nolan's works and want to see one last film from him for a while, then this is totally the worthy summer movie to watch for you, no doubt. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Oppenheimer, I'm going to give Oppenheimer a 9.5 out of 10.
There we go. That wraps up my review for Oppenheimer. And you're wondering, Why did you randomly put a warning warning for the Exorcist Believer trailer? Because guys, that's one of the things that's one of the things viewers are going to have to sit through when they go see Oppenheimer. And the trailer actually felt seizure inducing. So for those subscribers that probably have, some of my subscribers might probably have epilepsy or something. That's a warning for them if they're still interested in going to see Oppenheimer. I have to warn them about that. Guys. So that they come prepared. And also, I should have also mentioned, maybe don't sit near the front of the screen. But yeah. But Oppenheimer, I want to know what you guys thought of Oppenheimer in the comments down below. If you saw the movie, I'd like to know your thoughts. And until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.